Hey everyone, Chris Shearn down here at Spring Training in Tampa with our newest member of Yes. That would be Jack Curry. Jack, welcome. Thank you very much. The Yankees get a win today on opening day in Spring Training, 6-3 over the Pirates. You listened to Joe Girardi after the game. What did he have to say?
You know what, Chris, was interesting to me is we talked a lot about Chad Gaudin, Sergio Mitre, and Alfredo Aceves. All three of them pitched 2 scoreless innings. Now, I think, like most people think, they're dark horses for that number 5 spot. If one of those guys ends up as the number 5 starter, I think that's actually bad news for the Yankees. But Girardi was asked that question. I'm the one who asked it. I said, doesn't something have to go terribly wrong for Hughes or Chamberlain not to get that spot? And he gave a coy response. He said, sometimes it's okay to be the unheralded guy. Sometimes it's okay to be the guy who's under the radar, and maybe you figure out a way to force yourself into the mix. I think Girardi was saying that because he knows those quotes will be heard by the players, and he doesn't want to give up on these guys right now. I still think it's Hughes or Chamberlain's job to lose. But you know what? Those 3 guys went out there today and didn't hurt their chances. And let's face it, after the number 5 spot, there are still bullpen spots to be won on this team, too. So they're all 3 of them are fighting for jobs.
Let's talk about it from an unheralded pitcher's perspective, and namely Chad Gaudin. He threw 2 scoreless innings today. So what do you think it's like for him to be maybe on the outside looking in?
Gaudin is a guy who's been around the major leagues. He's a guy who's had some success. I think he's handling this the right way. He has said he is not competing against the other guys or worried about the numbers, because once that gets inside your head, it may impact what you're doing. It's kind of a cliche, but what he has said is he's going to worry about what he can control and do his job. I'm sure there's a part of him that would love to come to spring training like other veteran pitchers and say, hey, I'm just getting loose. I just got to get my work in. Chad Gaudin can't do that. He needs to prove that he can be successful for the Yankees at this level. And the other thing not to forget about in all of this mix is there are other scouts at this game today watching. We saw them. They're sitting behind home plate. A Chad Gaudin or a Sergio Mitre has a good spring training. Those guys might be appealing to another team.
Now, Sergio Mitre, it's interesting you bring him up because he was coming off Tommy John last year, and they say the further away he is from coming back from Tommy John, the better he's going to be. I saw him in the bullpen, and he was really popping the mitt. Do you think he has a chance of doing something this year?
I know the numbers do say that 18 months out is when a Tommy John pitcher really starts to assert himself and come back. Mitre, I think, is an interesting character. Joe Girardi had a ton of confidence in him last year, and I don't think that was just because Joe Girardi liked him. He saw something. He saw some life on that ball. So I do think that Mitre is an interesting guy. So, yes, all 3 of those guys. I actually give Aceves the leg up because he's the guy who's done the bullpen thing and has succeeded at it. But all 3 of those guys to me are interesting this spring. And I know it's really early, but I know no one has called the Yankees about any of them yet in trade talks. I do think that could change, though, if the Yankees stay healthy, because they're going to have a lot of pitchers.
Barring injury, God forbid, with the Yankees. Let's talk about the bullpen. Last thing, we'll stick with the pitching. And in that bullpen, don't you think whoever wins that number 5 job, the bullpen gets stronger either way?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why I don't buy into some people. I've seen a lot of theories out there, and some people are like, why don't you just give the number 5 spot to a Chad Gaudin and let Chamberlain and Hughes go to the bullpen? I don't believe in that. A lot of guys go to the bullpen because they're failed starters. I do believe that you want one of the young guys as the number 5 starter. But, right, the loss for the number 5 guy is, okay, you're now setting up Mariano Rivera. That's not really falling on, down the flight of stairs. That's a pretty good gig to inherit. So I think that both of those guys are going to end up with good roles.
All right, there you have it. Jack Curry, Chris Shearn for your Diamond Daily here at Spring Training. We'll try to do one of these almost every day to keep you informed on what's going on. Tomorrow, it's off to Clearwater when the Yankees take on the Phillies. And Jack and I will hopefully, God willing, see you there.